And this week has been an action-packed one. Indonesia's successful leadership of the G20 Summit in Bali managed to produce a joint declaration despite divisions over the Russia-Ukraine war, while Bali also set the scene for a key meeting between the presidents of the U.S. and China. This week, Indonesia also once again recorded a balance of trade surplus for the 30th consecutive month. Metro Globe's Krishna Sam has this week in review.
On the third week of November, Indonesia's G20 presidency reached its pinnacle, with Indonesia hosting the G20 Bali Summit. Now, throughout the year, the Russia-Ukraine war had caused divisions and disagreements within the Indonesian-hosted G20 forums, but through Indonesia's successful leadership, the G20 countries, including Russia, managed to agree on a joint leaders' declaration. The agreed-upon declaration even included a paragraph that condemned Russia's war in Ukraine, demanding Russia's complete withdrawal, a sentiment echoed by Indonesia's President Joko Widodo during his opening and closing speech.
Stop the war. I repeat, stop the war.
Other than condemning the Ukraine war, G20 countries also vowed to take action to promote food and energy security, continue to invest in low and middle income countries, strengthen global trade and supply chains, and also achieve price stability alongside central banks. Indonesia's G20 presidency also delivered on their promise to produce concrete deliverables, including gathering over $60 billion in funds to address the looming global food crisis, creating a fund to prepare for future pandemics, and also establishing a trust to assist poor countries in dealing with debt. And meanwhile, the G20 Bali Summit gathered some of the world's most influential leaders and set the stage for a landmark meeting between the presidents of the U.S. and China. Now, it had been 5 years since the two leaders last met, and this bilateral meeting in Bali was indeed significant, with Presidents Biden and Xi Jinping exchanging warm words at a time when relationships between the U.S. and China had sunk to a new low.
期待同总统先生共同努力推动中美关系重回健康稳定发展的轨道，造福两国，惠及世界。
We share a responsibility, in my view, to show that China and the United States can manage our differences, prevent competition from becoming anything ever near conflict, and to find ways to work together on urgent global issues that require our mutual cooperation. So, President Xi, I look forward to our continuing and ongoing open and honest dialogue we've always had, and I thank you for the opportunity.
And also in Bali, at the sidelines of the G20 Summit, the Indonesian government officially launched the Just Energy Transition Partnership. Led by the U.S. and Japan, this Clean Energy Transition Partnership aims to gather $20 billion in funds, which will help Indonesia retire coal-fired power plants more quickly, and aims to help Indonesia reach its net zero emissions target 10 years faster.
Over the next 6 months, we will work with Indonesia to develop a comprehensive investment plan that seeks to peak power sector emissions over 7 years earlier than previously scheduled, doubles the rate of renewable energy deployment in the country, and supports Indonesia in the goal, as established in today's joint statement, of moving forward its target for being net zero in the power sector by a full 10 years, from 2060 to 2050.
Also this week, the Indonesian Central Bureau of Statistics announced that Indonesia has once again achieved a balance of trade surplus. For the month of October, Indonesia achieved a trade surplus of $5.67 billion. This marks the 30th consecutive month that Indonesia has had a surplus in its trade. And that's it for this week's In Review. This is Krishna Sam reporting from Jakarta for Metro Globe.